Hey viewers, welcome to African Tales by Afi. Please kindly click the subscribe button to get notified for more amazing stories. Amara was just 13, but she worked harder than many grown-ups in her town. Every morning, she woke up before the sun and helped her mother light their little fire pit. Together, they roasted corn by the roadside, hoping to sell enough to buy their dinner. Amara didn't mind. She loved helping her family, and she always tried to smile, even when her feet ached or her belly grumbled. One day, the sun was high in the sky when something strange happened. Amara was fanning the corn on the fire when she noticed a leather bag sitting on the wooden bench next to her stall. It wasn't hers. Her family couldn't afford anything that fine. The bag looked expensive, smooth like polished cocoa beans, with shiny gold buckles. She looked around. "Hello? Did someone leave their bag here?" she called out. People passed by, some buying corn, others just walking, but no one came back for the bag. Her friend Kemi, who sold bananas nearby, rushed over. "Wow, Amara! Where did you get that? Is it full of money?" Amara frowned. "I don't know. Someone forgot it here. I'm waiting to see if they come back." Kemi raised an eyebrow. "What if no one comes? You could sell it or open it. Maybe it's full of cash." But Amara shook her head. "It doesn't belong to me. What if the person is looking for it right now and is scared? I'd feel terrible." Kemi rolled her eyes. "You're too honest for your own good," she mumbled before skipping back to her stall. Hours passed. The sun dipped lower. The roasted corn was almost finished, and Amara's stomach was growling. Just when she thought no one would come, a fancy black car pulled up by the roadside. Out stepped a tall man in a neat blue shirt and shiny shoes. He looked around in a hurry, his brow furrowed. "Excuse me," he said, walking up to Amara's stall. "Did anyone happen to see a brown leather bag? I think I left it around here earlier today." Amara's eyes lit up. She pointed to the bench. "Is it this one?" The man's eyes widened. "Yes. That's it." He rushed forward and opened it quickly, checking inside. Then he looked up at Amara, stunned. "You didn't take anything?" She shook her head. "I wouldn't do that, sir." For a moment, he didn't speak. Then he smiled slowly. "What's your name?" "Amara." "Well, Amara, you've just saved me from a lot of trouble. That bag has important documents, my phone, even my house keys." "Thank you." She smiled shyly. "I'm just glad you found it." "I'm Jaden," he said, reaching into his pocket. "Let me give you something for your honesty." But Amara quickly shook her head. "No, thank you. I didn't do it for a reward." Jaden stared at her, surprised again. "You are really something. Are you always this honest?" Amara shrugged. "I think it's just the right thing to do." Jaden laughed softly, then glanced at the corn. "Is this your stall?" "Yes, sir. I help my mama sell roasted corn." He bought 2 ears of corn and handed her the money. "Well then, I'll be back. I think this is the best corn I've ever had." Amara's eyes sparkled. "Thank you, sir." As Jaden got back into his car and drove away, Kemi ran back over. "You gave it back? Did he pay you?" "No," Amara said, fanning the fire. But he smiled like someone who just found something more important than money. Kemi looked confused. "What's more important than money?" Amara smiled. "Peace." And that night, as she lay on her mat beside her siblings, Amara felt something new in her heart, a quiet joy, like she had done something magical, even if no one else understood. The next day, just after the first batch of roasted corn began to sizzle on the fire, Amara heard the soft hum of a car engine. It was the same fancy black car. Out stepped Jaden, wearing sunglasses this time and carrying a gentle smile. He walked up to Amara's stall like he had done it 100 times before. "Good morning, Amara," he said warmly. She looked up, surprised. "Good morning, sir. You're back?" Jaden chuckled. "I told you I'd be. I haven't stopped thinking about that corn since yesterday. Got any ready for me?" Amara laughed, holding one out with a pair of old tongs. "Of course, sir. Fresh and hot." He took the corn and took a bite. "Still the best I've ever tasted," he said, his mouth half full. "Is your mother here?" Amara shook her head. "She's at home with my baby brother today. He had a fever last night." "Oh no," Jaden said, concern in his voice. "Do you have medicine?" Amara looked down at her bare feet. "Not yet. We need to sell more corn to buy some." Jaden grew quiet. Then he reached into his pocket and handed her a folded note. "Here. For the corn, and to help with your brother." Amara blinked at the money. "Sir, this is too much." "Not for someone as honest as you," he interrupted. "And not for a little boy who needs to get well." Amara slowly took the money, her hands trembling. "Thank you, sir. Call me Jaden," he said, smiling. "And I'll call you Miss Honesty." Amara giggled, and just like that, a new friendship began. Every few days, Jaden came by Amara's stall. Sometimes he brought a friend. Sometimes he just sat and talked. People in the market began to notice. "Who is that man always eating your corn?" Kemi whispered one day, her eyes wide. "He looks like someone from TV." Amara shrugged. "He's just Jaden." But Kemi wasn't convinced. "He drives a big car, wears nice clothes, and he gave you that money for your brother. He's rich, isn't he?" "I think so," Amara said quietly. "But he doesn't act like it." Jaden never acted proud. He asked about her family, listened to her stories, and even helped her carry water buckets one afternoon when her arm was sore. One day, as they sat under a shady tree by the stall, Jaden asked, "Amara, if you could do anything else besides selling corn, what would it be?" Amara thought hard. "I'd bake. Cakes, bread, meat pies, things that make people smile. My grandma taught me. Before she passed." Jaden looked impressed. "A bakery? That sounds amazing." "But we don't have an oven," Amara said sadly. "Or a shop." Jaden was quiet again, then said, "Do you promise to keep dreaming?" She looked up at him. "Even if I don't have anything?" He nodded. "Dreams don't cost a thing. But they can change everything." Amara smiled, storing those words deep in her heart. A week later, something incredible happened. Jaden arrived with a small wrapped box and placed it on the stall. "What's this?" Amara asked, surprised. "Open it," he said. Inside was a brand new apron. Embroidered on it were the words, "Amara's Bakery, where goodness begins." Amara gasped. "For me?" "Yes," Jaden said, his voice soft. "Because your dream is worth believing in." She touched the fabric gently. "But I don't even have a bakery." "Not yet," he said. "But maybe we can build one. Together." Amara couldn't believe her ears. "Really? Why would you help me?" Jaden looked her straight in the eyes. "Because sometimes, the smallest kindness changes everything. You gave me my bag. Now I want to give you something too." a future. She didn't know whether to cry or laugh. So she did both. That night, when Amara told her mother everything, Mama hugged her tight and said, "My daughter, kindness brings miracles." And deep down, Amara began to believe that maybe, just maybe, her life was about to change. Word travels fast in small places. By the third week, people in the market were no longer just curious about the man in the black car, they were talking loudly. Some admired Amara. Others were not so kind. "Look at her," a woman selling yam muttered one morning. "Just a corn seller, and now she walks around with gifts and smiles like she owns the road." Another vendor, folding her arms, added, "That man is too rich to just be eating corn. What does he want from a poor girl like that?" Amara heard their whispers. At first, she tried to ignore them. But every time she smiled, someone rolled their eyes. Every time Jaden came around, someone made a noise with their mouth or pretended to look away. It began to sting. That day, when Jaden came by, she didn't meet him with her usual cheer. Instead, she sat quietly, turning the corn on the fire without saying a word. He noticed. "Amara? Is everything okay?" She nodded, not looking up. "The corn is almost ready." Jaden crouched beside her, gently lowering his voice. "Did someone say something to you?" She bit her lip. "People are talking. They think it's strange that someone like you keeps visiting someone like me." He sat beside her. "Someone like me? You're rich," she whispered. "You wear nice things. Drive a car with air that smells like flowers. I don't even own proper shoes." Jaden looked down at her bare feet. Then he looked into her eyes. "Amara, I come here because I see something you don't." She turned to him slowly. "What do you see?" "I see strength. Kindness. A dream that doesn't need riches to shine," he said. "You gave me back something I thought I'd lost, trust. And I'm not letting other people's small words take that away." Amara wanted to believe him. But the whispers were like mosquitoes, they kept coming, even when she swatted them away. The next day, something worse happened. As she arrived at the stall, she found it scattered. The bench was flipped over, the basket of corn spilled onto the dirt. Her little cooking pot was missing. Kemi rushed to her side. "Amara! I came early and saw it like this. I think someone did it on purpose." Amara stood frozen. Her eyes burned. Who would do this? Just then, Jaden's car pulled up. When he saw the mess, he didn't ask questions. He got out, rolled up his sleeves, and helped her clean everything up. But Amara was quiet, too quiet. After they set everything back in place, she whispered, "Maybe I should stop talking to you." Jaden's face changed. "Why would you say that?" "Because people are angry. They think I don't belong near someone like you. And now someone has destroyed our stall." Jaden looked at her, really looked. "Do you think I care what they think?" She didn't answer. He took a deep breath. "Amara, I grew up with money, yes. But I didn't grow up with peace. My family cared more about status than love. I was always lonely until I met you." She blinked. "Me? You talk to me like I'm just a person. You laugh at my silly jokes. You remind me what it feels like to be real. Why should we let fear take that away?" Amara looked at him, eyes soft. "But what if it gets worse?" "Then we face it together," Jaden said firmly. "I want to help you open your bakery. I want to help your dreams grow, even if the world frowns at us. Because your light doesn't deserve to be hidden just because others can't see clearly." Amara felt a warm glow inside her. But before she could speak, her mother appeared, holding her baby brother. "Is this the man you've been spending time with?" Mama asked gently. Amara nodded slowly. Mama looked at Jaden. "Thank you for helping my daughter. I don't know what your plans are, but if your heart is true, don't hurt her. She's all we have." Jaden bowed his head respectfully. "I promise. I don't want to take her away, I want to help her shine." Mama studied him for a moment, then gave a small nod. Amara looked at both of them and whispered, "I think. I want to try. Even if it's hard." And so, despite the whispers, the stares, and even the broken stall, they kept going. Jaden began helping her by baking supplies. He even found a small empty shop nearby. Together, they painted it, cleaned it, and added a hand-painted sign, "Amara's Bakery, where goodness begins." Little by little, bread began to rise, and so did hope. But the biggest surprise was still to come. The day Amara's Bakery opened, the little shop smelled like heaven: warm bread, soft cake, and something else, something like hope. Neighbors gathered around, peeking through the open window. Children pressed their noses to the glass to watch Amara place golden loaves on the wooden shelves. Jaden stood proudly beside her, wearing an apron that didn't match his fancy shirt. He had flour on his nose and a grin on his face. "You did it," he whispered. Amara looked around in awe. "No," she said, smiling up at him. "We did it." Mama held Amara's baby brother on her lap, sitting just outside the door, eyes misty with joy. Even Kemi brought flowers. "I still can't believe it," she whispered. "You're not just the corn girl anymore." Amara laughed. "I think I'm still her. Just now with a little more butter." The bakery was busy all morning. People who once whispered now came to taste the bread they had once doubted. Jaden helped take orders. He wore a goofy smile and shouted, "Best buns in town," until Amara giggled so hard she nearly dropped a cake. But not everyone who came had sweet things to say. A man in a stiff gray suit stood outside, arms crossed. "Jaden," he called sharply. Jaden looked up and frowned. "Uncle Terrence?" The man walked in slowly. "I've been hearing things. That you're helping a poor girl build a bakery, ruining your name." Amara stepped back nervously. "Uncle, this is Amara," Jaden said calmly. "She's the one who returned my bag, the one you thought was lost forever. She's the reason I remembered what it means to care about people, not titles." Uncle Terrence frowned. "Your father didn't raise you to waste your time in places like this." Jaden shook his head. "No, he raised me to follow what's right. And what's right is standing beside someone honest, kind, and brave. Amara doesn't need to be from a big house to be worthy. She already is." The bakery was silent. Then Amara stepped forward. "Sir, I don't want to take anything from Jaden. I didn't ask for this. I only returned what wasn't mine." Terrence's eyes narrowed. Then, after a long pause, he gave a small nod. "Then I hope you use what's been given to make something truly good." And with that, he left. Weeks passed, and the bakery flourished. Amara baked every morning before sunrise, her hands dancing like they were made for dough. Customers came from far away just to taste her warm banana bread or her soft sugar buns. Jaden was there every day, helping, cheering, and smiling wider than anyone else. One quiet evening, as the sun dipped low and painted the sky orange and pink, Jaden stood outside the bakery with Amara. "I've been thinking," he said, hands in his pockets. "Oh," Amara teased. "That usually means flour on the ceiling." Jaden chuckled. "No flour this time. Just a question." He reached into his coat pocket and pulled out a small, simple ring. Amara froze. Jaden looked nervous, but happy. "Amara, I don't care what the world says. I only care what you say. Will you marry me, not because of where I come from, but because of who we've become, together? Tears welled in Amara's eyes. She looked at the bakery, at her hands, at the life they had built brick by brick, loaf by loaf. Yes, she whispered. 1,000 times yes. They hugged beneath the stars as Mama watched from the door, smiling through her tears. And so, they had a simple wedding. There were no gold crowns, no long speeches. Just laughter, dancing, and the smell of warm bread. Jaden wore a shirt with flour on it. Amara wore a dress sewn by her mother, decorated with lace and kindness. Children tossed flower petals, and Kemi led a song with a wooden spoon. They didn't need a castle. They had a bakery. They didn't need diamonds. They had trust. They didn't need to be rich in the eyes of the world. They were already rich in love. And from that day forward, Amara's bakery was more than just a place for bread. It became a place for stories, dreams, and second chances. Because one day, long ago, a girl who sold roasted corn found a leather bag and returned it. And the world, somehow, became just a little sweeter because of it. Hello tribe, hope we enjoyed today's story. Please kindly put what you've learned in the comments section. Please remember to hit the like button, share this to your friends and family as well as subscribe to see you on the next one. Bye.